Is anybody there?
No, no.
Who's there?
Doctor
Doctor Who?
Goose Chasers here.
It's a quiet evening in August 1977 in Enfield, North London. Inside a modest council house at 284 Green Street, the Hodgson family is settling in for the night, unaware that their lives are about to change forever. What starts as a series of faint, inexplicable knocks soon erupts into a full-blown paranormal phenomenon that will captivate the world, spark intense debate, and leave behind questions that remain unanswered to this day. This is the story of the Enfield Poltergeist, a case that blurred the line between fact and fiction. Were these events the work of a restless spirit, the product of a troubled family's psychological turmoil, or simply a hoax that spiraled out of control? To this day, the case remains one of the most hotly debated paranormal mysteries of all time. Join us as we peel back the layers of this chilling tale, examining the events, the evidence, and the controversies surrounding the Enfield Poltergeist. Life at 284 Green Street was already far from easy. Peggy Hodgson, a single mother of 4, had been navigating the challenges of raising her children on a tight budget. The house itself, though unassuming, carried an air of melancholy. On the evening of August 30th, 1977, Peggy's daughter Janet, 11, and her brother Johnny, 10, complained that their beds were shaking. Peggy, exhausted from a long day, brushed off their fears as childish imagination. But things escalated quickly. The next night, loud knocking sounds echoed through the house, rattling the family. In the following days, the phenomena became undeniable. Heavy furniture began moving of its own accord. A chest of drawers, which Peggy later described as impossibly heavy, slid across the floor as if pushed by an invisible force. When she tried to move it back, she was unable to budge it. Desperate for help, Peggy turned to her neighbors, Vic and Peggy Nottingham. Vic, a builder, searched the house for signs of intruders but found nothing out of the ordinary. Both neighbors also heard the knocking, confirming the family's fears. In her distress, Peggy contacted the police. Constable Carolyn Heaps responded to the call and witnessed a chair move across the room without visible cause. Her official report stated that she could find no explanation for the movement, though there was no evidence of a crime. Still desperate for answers, Peggy reached out to the Daily Mirror. Reporter George Fallows and photographer Graham Maurice visited the house expecting to find a hoax or misinterpretation of natural events. Instead, they encountered inexplicable phenomena. Maurice was struck by a flying Lego brick, leaving a mark on his forehead. His photographs of objects mid-air would later become key pieces of evidence. The story caught the attention of the Society for Psychical Research, or SPR, a group dedicated to studying supernatural phenomena. Maurice Grosse, a new SPR member grappling with the loss of his daughter, was deeply moved by the Hodgsons' plight. He joined the investigation alongside Lyon Playfair, an experienced researcher and author. Grosse and Playfair set up cameras and recording equipment throughout the house. Their initial findings suggested the activity revolved around Janet, the second eldest Hodgson child. Janet began displaying bizarre behaviors. She spoke in a deep, gravelly voice that identified itself as Bill Wilkins.
I was going to ask the same question as I asked earlier. How many voices are there?
600.
600 the voices.
I know the joke.
Many really are, though, Margaret.
I think so far we've had 10
3.
sensible voices, but the rest of the names are absolute rubbish.
Bill claimed to have lived in the house before the Hodgsons and described his death in disturbing detail. When researchers later confirmed that a man named Bill Wilkins had died in the house years earlier, the chilling revelation added credibility to the claims. The phenomena escalated further. Janet was reportedly thrown from her bed and even levitated in front of witnesses, including neighbors and reporters. Photographs captured Janet appearing to hover above her bed, though skeptics would later suggest she was simply jumping. The activity wasn't confined to Janet. Family members and visitors alike reported being hit by flying objects, witnessing furniture move, and hearing the gruff voice of Bill echoing throughout the house. Despite the compelling accounts, the case quickly became a battleground for believers and skeptics. Within the SPR, Anita Gregory and John Beloff raised concerns. They noted instances where Janet and her sister Margaret were caught faking events. Janet later admitted to bending spoons and knocking on walls during quiet moments, saying she wanted to test if the investigators could distinguish real phenomena from fabricated ones. American magician Milbourne Christopher visited the house briefly and dismissed the claims, attributing the voice to vocal tricks and the physical phenomena to staged pranks. Ventriloquist Ray Allen agreed, suggesting Janet's Bill voice was an impressive feat of ventriloquism rather than a supernatural occurrence. The case attracted even more controversy when Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famed American demonologists, visited the house. Their involvement, while brief, has been widely exaggerated in pop culture, particularly in the film The Conjuring 2. The Warrens declared the house a site of demonic activity, but their conclusions were dismissed by Grosse and Playfair, who felt the Warrens overstated their findings without substantial evidence. By 1979, the activity at 284 Green Street had largely subsided. The Hodgsons moved on with their lives, though the events left a lasting impact. Janet, now an adult, maintains that while some incidents were exaggerated, the majority of the phenomena were real. Her sister Margaret has supported her claims, and many witnesses, including neighbors and journalists, continue to vouch for the authenticity of their experiences. Skeptics argue that the inconsistencies in Janet's accounts and the admitted fabrications cast doubt on the entire case. Believers, however, point to the sheer volume of corroborating evidence and the number of credible witnesses as proof that something extraordinary occurred in Enfield. The case remains one of the most well-documented in paranormal history, with hundreds of hours of audio recordings, photographs, and eyewitness testimonies. Yet it also remains one of the most polarizing. Lyon Playfair, the author and researcher brought in by SPR's Maurice Grosse, chronicles the episode in his book, This House is Haunted. Playfair's account is one of the best documented poltergeist cases, providing chilling insights into supernatural disturbances. If you want to check out his findings for yourself, a link to his book is available in the description. And now we turn to you. Was the Enfield Poltergeist a genuine supernatural event, a case of mass hysteria, or an elaborate hoax? Let us know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating stories. Check out the next video on screen now for another journey into the unknown. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.